my second time recording this episode. I'm trying to use OBS Studio and figure out how to do that. So I'm getting a little bit frustrated at this point, but I'm hoping that this time it'll work out. I am a stitcher, knitter, reader, sometimes crocheter, and newly hired teacher. And so I am very excited to be sharing my third episode on YouTube on the Stitch Nat Lit Chat. I have recently reached 50 subscribers, and so because of that, I have decided to have a whip parade. A few people asked me about it, so that's something that I'm going to be doing, and I will have some more information at the end about that. So I wanted to share a few different projects that I've been working on. One of which is Reflections of Ireland. This is a bag from, I'm not sure. I think it used to have a tag on it. I don't know where it went. Lake Wind Studio. And I got it on Etsy. And I got it to theme with this project. So this project is called Reflections of Ireland, and it is by Ink Circles Design, and this is done in a Threadworks thread on a Bestitch Me fabric. I believe this is 40 count as well. So this project has been one I've been working on for a while, but I just reached the 50% mark. I really enjoy working on this project because it gives me a lot of time to kind of just work on these one stitch at a time, one color monochromatic type of thing. And I find it really enjoyable, especially since the thread is so long. It takes a little while for me to use up a whole thread, which is nice. So I can sit and stitch with one thread and get like 200 stitches, 100 stitches in. So that project will probably stay out for a little while. I'm not sure. It's one I like to pick up when I'm in between things, so I might be able to do that a little bit more. My next project is from Stitching Book Club, and it is called the Emma Sal. So Stitching Book Club is, you can find them on Instagram, you can find them on Etsy, I will include links. And basically the designer creates patterns surrounding some book, typically a book that is out of copyright so that they don't have to pay like usage rights and things like that, although I think they have done one time in the past for a limited release. But typically it is released in different pieces as you read the book as well. So this one has been divided up into 3 parts, and this is part 1. So part 1 was just this border, and there's some flowers on there, and then this top border, which was really the majority of the stitching up here. And I have been really enjoying working on this piece. I'm using Cosmos, and the Cosmo colors that I'm using are 671 for this green, 653 for my dark pink, 652 for my light pink, 554 for my darkest purple, 761 for my medium purple, no, my light purple, and 762 for my darker or medium purple. There's 3 purples, and they're used in there. So I have been really enjoying this. I love how just like smoothly my Cosmos stitch. This is not the only project that you will see that uses them today. And I've been really enjoying being able to go to my local stitch shop and buy them and build up a stash. And I think I'm like slowly replacing All of the projects that use DMC, I've just been converting to Cosmos because I find them so enjoyable to stitch with. That's not to say that I don't enjoy DMC anymore. I do. But this has been fun to work on. The fabric that I'm doing this piece on is called It Ain't Easy by Wabi Sabi. It is 40 count. The suggested fabric was white, but I don't mind stitching on white fabrics, but I thought that this would be fun to do on like a light green, and when I saw it in the shop, I thought that it would be a good use of it. So those are two projects that I've been working on. Technically, Emma is a new start, but because I finished part 1, I'm just including it in my works in progress. I have a couple new starts. So this past week, I started crocheting a dress. This is called the Taylor Swift Crochet Mini Dress. And it was designed by Sonia Ridsel. And it's on Ravelry for free. So the story behind this dress is that Taylor Swift recently was pictured in a crochet mini dress going out while on her tour, and people were really excited because they thought they could make it pretty easily because it is just a granny stripe dress. I'm not the most proficient crocheter, but I can make granny stripes. There is a little bit of controversy around it, and it's not something that I was really aware of beforehand, but it's something that I do think is important to talk about. So the brand that Taylor Swift got this dress from only charged, I think, about $140 or somewhere between $140 and $200 for this dress. And that's higher than most places charge for crochet garments. But the reason that this is important to understand is that crochet garments are always handmade. There's always somebody who has to stitch the garment. There is no way to create the stitches that crochet does on a machine. There are knitting machines, so any knitted products you see in the store, in Target and things like that are made by machine, but crochet is not able to be replicated. And that has to do with the way that the loops are woven together in knitting versus the crochet. So that means that a dress that would take me, and is taking me hours and hours to work on, being charged only about $200 or less for that dress means that the amount of money that the person who made this gets is much smaller. And so this is an exploitative practice. This is something that is done in many chains. You'll see it in Target, you'll see it in Forever 21, you'll see it on Fashion Nova, you'll see it in Shein, all that kind of stuff, because it is a really popular fabric type right now, but it is something, again, that requires a person to stitch this by hand and then not get paid very much money for it. So if you see crocheted fabrics in the store, it's best to avoid them because they, again, do rely on this practice. Maybe see if you can create it yourself. But the reason that this became such a controversy is that people saw the dress and then immediately wanted to make it, and then they realized how many hours go into it. Now, $200 is more than most brands charge for this type of stuff. At Target, you might see a crocheted top for about $20, and that is not reflective of that garment's worth. That garment should be charged much more, again, because of the labor that has to go into it. And so this is something that people don't really know about. It's something I didn't really know about until I started seeing a few TikToks about it. And that being said, I don't think that Taylor Swift knew that this is an issue. I think that probably She has a stylist who bought her outfits, and she decided to wear it while going out, without knowing that the process that goes behind that. I'm not saying that she's excused from any blame in this situation, but it is something that has brought this topic to the larger public. Again, I don't necessarily blame her for this problem, but I think it's something that's important to know. But I did start stitching one myself, just to make my own dress out of it. I am using 11 colors, which reflects her 11 albums. She has 11 studio albums. 2 of them are not hers yet. She is re-recording her albums. 2 left are Debut and Reputation. So once she re-records those and releases them, then she will have reclaimed all of her albums. And so the colors, first up is green for Debut. And then we've got this gold yellow for Fearless. And then we have a purple for Speak Now. And then we have a red for Red. And we've got blue for 1989 and black for Reputation, pink for Lover, gray for Folklore, this orangish brown for Evermore, this dark blue for Midnights, and then for her latest studio release, the Tortured Poets Department is done in white. So she has released her re-recorded versions of most of these albums, and it is suspected that she will have released all of them by the end of the year. And hopefully that's true. But anyway, I'm really enjoying working on this. It is something that I like to do, but it is something that I think should be made aware of, that this is a larger issue. The other thing I'm working on is also Taylor Swift related. I'll get into that in a moment. But I am working on a button-down shirt using waste canvas. So this canvas here is on top of the fabric of the shirt, and I will be able to remove this canvas by pulling out the strands at the end, and that way it'll just leave the stitch design on the back. So the project I'm doing here is called Down Bad by Stitching Riot Designs, or Stitch Riot Designs. Down Bad is a song off of the Tortured Poets Department, and it uses a lot of alien imagery. So the project actually is a UFO. I'll include images of it. And it's also something that's been used in her concert, the imagery of the UFO. So that's something that I am creating with the intention of wearing in a couple of weeks. So I have another project kitted up, and that is Be Nice from Primrose Cottage. So the Honeybee Quaker that I did used the exact same colors. And so I'm going to continue using those colors, and then I'm going to work on that project. There are several other patterns in the series, so I shall have plenty of opportunities to use them. I'm planning to go into the stitch shop tomorrow and see if I can find a fabric for it that I like. I need a good neutral, I think. So again, those are being done in Cosmo flosses, and I'm hoping that I will be able to start it tomorrow. My finished objects are the Honeybee Quaker that I was just telling you about. So the Honeybee Quaker looks like that. I think this turned out so cute. And if you hear a plane right now, sorry. I think this project turned out so cute. I really enjoyed working on it, and I'm really excited to continue working in this series. Again, this is by Primrose Cottage Stitches, and I just really love all the yellows in it. Yellows are my favorite colors, and I love bee patterns. So, I mean, it's just a match made in heaven. and I've really enjoyed working on it. The other finish that I have is this little Happy Juneteenth pattern from Shaded Stitchery. This is a pay as you want kind of pattern, and it is linked in her either her Ko-fi or her Gumroad. Either way, it'll be linked below. So Nuri is the designer on this, and she has made so many beautiful patterns. I'm really excited to have finished this one, but I really would like to work on some more. I finished this project last night as well as the Honeybee Quaker. So I finished this last night. I'm not really into patriotic stitching, and yesterday was July 4th, so I decided that I was going to work on finishing this little piece instead. I did start it on Juneteenth. So those are my two finishes. I don't have any fully finished objects. In the future, I have a couple projects that I would like to work on. Wow, I skipped this one again. I didn't put this in my notes apparently, and so I skipped this project again. This is another work in progress. It's not a new start. I started this when I was in Italy. This is called Quakers in Italy by Tempting Tangles. Most of the threads in here are DMC, but I have also used a few Forbidden Fibers, one Gentle Arts, and one Threadworks in here. And I'm really enjoying how it's turning out. I really like it. And I have finished a page on that. I don't know if I'll be working on that consistently in the next 2 weeks. I'll talk about what's going on and why some stitching might not be ideal for that type of stuff. The next thing I'm going to be working on is that Be Nice pattern, but I'm also going to be trying to do a little bit of Christmas in July. So a lot of people like to stitch Christmas patterns during July, and I have these cute little village pieces from Little House Needleworks. I completed the bookstore a while back, and this is the tree farm. I have several other patterns in this series, and so I would like to finish this one so I can move on to one of the other ones. So the patterns I have are the Needlework Shop, the grocery store, the schoolhouse, which I think will probably be the next one because I am now working in a school. Unfortunately, it's not big and red, but it is big. An ice cream shop and a little pet store with little doggies in the window. So I would like to continue working on these. I am doing them with the called for flosses, and I am really enjoying them. I think that they're very fun to work on, and they're Christmassy but without being too much like in the Christmas season, more wintry. So that's something I would like to work on. The next thing that I am going to be working on in the next 2 weeks is recording a whip parade. So I started off saying I wasn't going to do one, but I have now reached 50 subscribers, and I have had a few people ask me to do one. So I guess it's happening. And now is a good time to do it because the next time that I'm supposed to release is July 19th. And that's an issue because I will be in Amsterdam. So I won't really have time to record a full video. So instead, I will be recording a whip parade and talking about the projects that I have. And I will hopefully have that edited and set to release on that Friday. I am on my way to Europe on the 16th. My sister and I are going to be going to Amsterdam, Berlin, and Hamburg. And in Hamburg, we are going to be going to the Eras Tour. So that's why I am working on a shirt with the Down Bad logo on the back. I might put some other stuff on it as well before the show. I have my other pieces of my outfit kind of put together, and I'm just going to be working on adding designs to this shirt. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. And that means that I will be recording and putting this video up. I'm not sure when my next video will come up. It might be a week delayed because I'm also going to a music festival when I get home from Europe with my sister. We're going to the Hinterland Festival in Iowa, and I'm very excited about that because we will be seeing Chappell Roan and Ethel Cain and Lizzie McAlpine and Hosier and all sorts of cool artists, indie artists, as well as big label artists. And so we're very excited to go do that. We're going to be doing that with my sister, my brother, my brother's girlfriend, and my brother's girlfriend's sister. So the 5 of us will be in Iowa together. So that should be really fun, if also pretty humid. So we'll see how that goes. So because of that, I'm not sure when the next video will come out. I am also immediately starting my job right after I get back from that. So again, that might conflict with what I'm going to be doing. My current reads, I have just finished the Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. It took me a really long time to finish it, and I think it's because of the app that I was using to read it. It's not super well made, and so it sometimes would cut out, and so I would just like put down the book for a while. But I have finished it now. I did really enjoy it. I thought the way that the timelines all kind of wove together at the end was really interesting, and everything kind of was able to be resolved. And I thought it was an interesting book. Again, is it the like most groundbreaking novel? No, but I did enjoy it. I am going to be starting a book called Ocean's Godori with my roommate. We do a little book club between the two of us. And I'm excited to start that one. It should be really interesting. I briefly read the synopsis, so I'm not sure what that is, but we always typically pick books that are kind of fun and weird and interesting. And then I'm also going to be working on doing a read-along reading challenge thing called Summerween, which is where you read spooky books during this week in July. And I am hoping to be able to read some different thrillers and mysteries and work on just checking off those prompts. I think it'll help encourage me to do a little bit more reading. And now that I'm not job searching all the time, I do have a little bit more free time. So that is very exciting. So again, my goal is to post Iowa Parade in 2 weeks. Hopefully that will come out. Please follow me on Instagram at StitchNatLitChat, and subscribe if you liked the video. And this is me reminding you to keep moving forward, one stitch at a time.